G'day folks, my name's Chris Nitzo. I'm from Cyclone Chasers, and over the next few weeks I'm going to be bringing you periodic updates on how our new weather centre is progressing. This is for our subscribers who do support us. They gain access to this thing called the weather centre on the right hand side of their page. They log in. Once you've logged in, that comes up by default. Now the weather centre's been pretty standard over the last few months, where there hasn't been many developments to it on face value to our subscribers. However, what's been happening in the background is we are working hard on developing that weather centre. So if I take you to the weather centre development, just give you an inside look here at what's been going on. So we've got our stock standard satellite imagery, and we can change that up and zoom right into really high resolution type imagery. What we've done in the last week or two, we've actually added every single radar in Australia. So you can have a look here at every single radar in Australia up to 6-hour loops, and you can radar and overlay that radar to satellite, or you can change a lot of options there. We've got about 2, 4, 6, 7 there, 7 different satellite options here for you. Particularly of interest during the day is this 500 meter visible imagery, because it's a very high resolution, and it's not really available on the web unless you are a paid subscriber. So it certainly allows us to zoom right into individual cloud formations, individual convective structures, and really take a look at those in a lot more detail and see what's going on in that particular thunderstorm. And it will come in absolutely invaluable when we have tropical cyclone development this season. Now, more excitingly, this is something that with our gurus of Shane and Mike, who are absolute guns at programming and all things computerized, have been working tirelessly on this stuff. So what we can do here is we can overlay computer models. So right now I'm overlaying the mean surface level pressure chart. So you can see here, this is the latest Australian surface level pressure chart. Now that's not unremarkable in itself, but if I want to zoom into my little hometown here of Townsville, or any other little hometown that you might have around Australia, you can do so with the surface level pressure overlays. We can also start, or we have also started to add different model parameters. Since there's not much happening around town, so let's take a look more at the Cairns radar and satellite imagery. Now, bearing in mind we're looking at some lower resolution imagery here because it's night time, so we don't have the access to the visible imagery, which only happens during the daytime. But you can get a sense of what we can overlay here. So we've got radar and we've got satellite overlaid on top of each other. Let's say the radar is starting to clutter things up and we can't see the satellite very well. We can always change the opacity of our radar here and make it a little bit more see-through. Similarly, if we want to see more radar and less satellite, we can change that opacity of our satellites as well, so we can have a radar-centric view. Now, what we can also do, and this is going to be really important during the storm season and during the season in general coming up, is we've got the start of a lot of model parameters. Now, there's going to be a lot more of these things happening over the next couple of weeks in our development pages, and we'll keep you up to date as to how this is going. But basically, we can check out things like lifted indices. Now, this shows us how unstable the atmosphere is, and we can overlay that on top of our current satellite imagery and our current radar imagery. So the beauty of that is, let's say we've got a situation where, for example, this is dark blue, which means it's very unstable, and we've got a little cloud cluster moving into some very unstable conditions here. We can safely assume that as that cloud structure hits this area of enhanced instability, it'll blow up. And that's one of the cool things that we can do when we can overlay computer model animations with current radar and satellite animations. So I'm really looking forward to being able to let you have access to that very shortly. Over the next few weeks we'll get this done and should be out for you by the back end of October into early November. It should be freely available and ready to go. Similarly, with those sort of things, we can zoom right out to Australia, or we can zoom right into a specific location, a specific radared location. So you can really start to get a sense of an overall picture of what the cloud, what the radar, and what the models actually start to mean. Now, on top of that, in the next couple of months, by the time this will become available to you, we will have official Bureau of Meteorology forecasts, official Bureau of Meteorology warnings, and official Bureau of Meteorology observations from all of the centres in and around Australia. In particular, our focus obviously is this area from Perth to Brisbane and northwards, but eventually we'll roll it out for the entire part of the nation. So it's certainly an exciting time at Oz Cyclone Chasers, and we can't wait to be able to roll this stuff out over the next, as I say, it will probably become progressive. As from the start of October, we'll start to roll out some of these features, and then certainly by the back end of October and into November, this will be a fully featured weather centre. So it'll be basically your one-stop shop for all weather information that you will need. On top of that, as a subscriber, as you all know, for those of you that have been subscribers, you'll get videos, educational videos about what's going on cyclone-wise. You'll also get educational videos now with these overlaid graphics that I'll be able to hone in on particular areas during the day and go, well, let's take a look at this particular area in a little bit more detail because things could happen there later on in the day. So those sort of things are what subscribers get. It's $38.50 a year. It is definitely money well spent. I'm sure that if you talk to any of our subscribers, you'll find that they're very happy. Even with a very poor year last year in terms of cyclone activity, we've managed to keep a retention rate of over 90% of our subscribers, which is fantastic given the fact that we've had no weather to talk about. So we're very thankful for our subscribers, and we can't wait to provide this value-added service to you. Once again, it's a really, really big job, and it could not happen without the brilliant help of Shane Ekerbicer, who's our website administrator as well, and Mike Manning. Mike Manning, you might know from this particular website, from bsch.com.au. He's also one of the programmers for that particular site. So we have welcomed Mike's expertise on board at Oz Cyclone Chasers, and we can't wait to see what he and Shane will do with our weather centre. In the meantime, while we're waiting for all of that stuff to go live, you still have access to the weather centre in its current format, which will allow you to zoom into a number of different radars and satellites. And once again, the biggest issue here, or the biggest positive, I think, is this going to be this visible 500-metre imagery, where you can really start to see what storms and what clouds are actually really doing through the day. Once again, we have loops up here to 6 hours. When the weather centre, the new weather centre, will go live, we'll have those loops extended out to 12 hours for you, so you'll be able to have a 12-hour radar or satellite loop to get an even longer picture of what's going on. Our radar updates every 10 minutes, our satellite updates every 10 minutes. In addition to that, you've got access here to your state weather pages. So your state weather pages have current satellite, current model maps, and also the 5-day forecast from the Bureau in terms of rainfall, and also rain tables. So a number of different locations across Queensland, Northern Territory, and WA, with generally what is the ensemble average in terms of rainfall for every particular day. These update 4 times a day automatically for you with all of the latest weather model information. So there's plenty of added information and value to your OCC subscription while we wait for the weather centre to go live. Also, just a quick heads up to our subscribers, our future Aussie Cyclone update will have the Cyclone season 2016-2017, our first real seasonal update. We had a preliminary update last month, that was more looking at the extreme long term. We've now got enough models on board to be able to provide you with our first of 2 tropical cyclone seasonal outlooks, and they'll be updated either on Friday or Saturday this week. Check out your future Aussie Cyclones page, available only to subscribers. Once again, I'd like to thank our subscribers for helping us live the dream and do what we love to do. If you'd like to become one, just click on our website, ozcyclonechasers.com.au, and click on subscribe to OCC. Have a great night. I'll talk to you all in a couple of weeks' time with a further update on our developing weather centre.